Let's
Funny.
talk about your album. I think the album is El Barrio Project Salsa. It's the fourth of your albums. And there are a number of songs. I just loved the album. It was really beautiful. And I want to talk about some of the songs on the album. One of the one I liked was El Sonido de mi Corazón, which has a wonderful effect. Boom, 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 talking about the heartbeat. Talk about that.
Yes.
That's just a standard type salsa, I think. Very
Yeah, that piece was composed by Nick Chavarria, somebody who I've been working with, and we collaborate. We have that click, where we could start something and finish it together. The song talks about uh, an image of somebody knocking at the door of this woman, uh, come on, open the door of your heart, open,
right, right.
and it tells it, and it's also talks in the whole album. I wanted to talk about what it is to live in New York. So this one is like he said, I know you're busy. You're a busy person. You're studying, you're working, you don't have time for romance, but come on, I've been looking at you, I've been following you. I want to have a relationship with you. That's sort of the idea of the song. The arrangement uh, has that salsa dura, that strong salsa sound to it, and I've been blessed with the musicians who are playing in that album. It's a joy to play with them all the time. They're really masters. So
Yeah. Well, another track which is very interesting is called "Black is Beautiful." I know you have a lot to say about this one.
Black is Beautiful is the lyrics come from his artistic name is Cruz Chino Melao. Cruz Chino Melao had a salsa band in the 70s. He's now in his 70s. And I met him because he he came to study with me. He he's every day he's writing songs, but he just does it. He sings, he plays bongo, but he doesn't he wanted to learn music. So he came to study with me, and then I started to hear what he does, and then I learned that he had hits in Puerto Rico and in Colombia in the 70s. And one day I was talking to him, and he said that he had these lyrics. He wanted to just give tribute to African Americans, to Africans, and he wanted to show it to me, and he had an initial idea. He wanted to have it in a jazz swing. He wanted some gospel in the middle, and I said to him, I don't think I'm the person, but I have some ideas. There was a style. There was a style that started in the 60s in New York, Boogaloo. And Boogaloo was a mix of Latin music with African, Afro-American music. And that was not my intention, but I did say I wanted to study. I started to listen to Otis Reading. I wanted to listen to the music from the South, listen to soul music. And then uh, the person who sang, Laurent Hunzabi from Benin, Africa, he I asked him, I said, why don't we put something African to this tune? And he said, well, there is a rhythm called chikume that could work with this. So we added that element of chikume, and then the cha-cha-cha that Carlos Santana kind of made popular in American music. And I said, I want that combination. We were working on the tune, and then 2020 came, and then George Floyd's death came, and in the middle of the pandemic, I'm like, I think this is the tune that we should push. We don't know how long we're gonna be here, so we created a video that we went and and film, and this was the song, and the song is there have been different reactions. I mean, the song is it talks about, black is beautiful, black is means free, black is wonderful, come along with me, let's spread love is wonderful. I had a very mixed community of different races singing to this, and right now I'm working on a version in Spanish to continue the message, because it's important to say something about racism.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable. So anything that we could do to help, nothing more beautiful than diversity and the ability to exchange and grow and be better humans after exchanging. So
One more tune I want to ask you about that caught my ear that was a little strange, and I wanted to know more about it. Mete mano ahi.
Mete Mano is a song about, I'll give you the first, it has the influence of New York again, but my inspiration was a gentleman who did the crossover from salsa music to jazz, Ray Barretto. I don't know if Ray Barretto was, he did some work with different jazz artists, and he along with Mongo Santa Maria, he's one of the Latinos who was able to do the crossover. I wanted that sound, that salsa sound of Ray Barretto. Again, it's a composition that with Nick Chavarria, and the song talks about two people. One is a lady who trains and gets up really early, and she knows that she's gonna make it. She's focused. The song has an expression called "mete mano ahí," which means go for it all the way. Go for it. The second verse talks about this Eddie, which is actually dedicated to Eddie Venegas, who is an incredible violin player, but also a trombone player. He's in the band, and talks about the struggle of a musician. He's practicing all the time. He doesn't have much money, but he knows it's gonna happen. So, mete mano ahí, go for it. So that's the song.
I noticed that the song had a prominent low saxophone in it.
The baritone saxophone presence in salsa always touched me. Of course, after having studied in the University of North Texas and hearing so many baritones, I just love that sound. But I like also the way it has been used in salsa music, sometimes doubling with the bass, and this guy Ivan Renta, who is one of the best players in town and actually in Latin America, great tenor player, and I invited him. Oh, you want to play baritone? So he's playing now. But the one who recorded there was Antonio Horta. Antonio, another student from North Texas. He ended up in the elite big band of went to the army, and he just retired. He went back to Puerto Rico, and he's playing Puerto Rico. But he recorded that, and yeah, I just love the sound of baritone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a wonderful album. It's again El Barrio Project Salsa Volume 4, and I do hope people will check that out. That's on iTunes and can be found easily. You mentioned your TEDx talk, which I did listen to. You gave a TEDx talk in Tarrytown, New York, and you said something fascinating. I want to repeat to you and see if you can talk a little more about it. You said, life puts you in a place where you have to start talking about your mission. What do you mean by that?
I think about, some of those tests when you're putting a a new company, and what is your mission statement? What is your, well, you have to have a mission when you encounter so many difficult moments. I have said it, before, when I'm like, what am I gonna do? This is tough. We're getting older, and and there is the voice that says, well, you're gonna start all over. You have to trust. You already crossed the bridge, more than half. So what is it? Why are you doing it? What is the reason? And number one, quality. The world needs quality. There is a lot of no quality, doing really well, and some people were more lucky. I wish I had been alive in different times, or in a different situations. Some the people who are making now reggaeton music, I don't know if you're familiar, but they're doing reggaeton. They're the lucky ones. I've been always in this. I fell in love with the past. I fell in love with all Brazilian music, with all jazz music, with all salsa music, and I've been trying to do new Colombian music, and people listen to it, and some like it, some really like it, and some hate it, or are not interested. So what is my mission? And I keep having people come and say, oh, I listened to your album that you did, I really like it. I never pay attention to it, but now I really like it. And it's like, not to put myself in that place, but it has happened before. It happened to Johann Sebastian Bach, who was recognized like 3 centuries later, or Mozart.
Yeah.
Again, not putting myself in that place, but technology helps, and all we can do is continue pushing, and see if something happens or not.
Well,
That's
what
it.
is the mission, though? I mean, is the mission just to keep making music in the hopes that someone will hear it someday, or do you have something else?
To keep me making music, to bring quality, to 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 try to create music that inspires people. That's, to me, that is the gift. If you're able to touch people, and usually you don't do it in with a lot of people. Sometimes people react more with some things with others, and you have the baby. You hope that it's gonna do well.
Yeah, but
That's as far as you can go.
you're taking chances, though, in two ways. One is you're an educator, and so you're talking about this as well, and that takes people to a different place. Sometimes it's a higher place, but sometimes it pulls them out. And you're also combining styles, which sometimes interferes with the groove that connects people. So yes, I hear what you say about your mission. You want quality, but you're also making it harder for yourself on purpose. I think there's a higher mission here.
Um, you have to do what you hear. It's you have to be honest with yourself, and you try. I do music for theater, and there is always a chance. Right now, I started writing. It's a play about Arsenio Rodriguez, who was a blind man from Cuba who came and revolutionized. They're giving him one of the credits for salsa music. I mean, there were two people that were also important for the development of Latin jazz, but this guy was he had the tradition, and he used the musicians in New York to do this. And in the play, there are segments where I'm like, how am I going to orchestrate this? I was talking to the director today. He said, I'm not going to do another. You know how many bands that play Arsenio exactly like the way he sounds? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a chance, and I'm going to orchestrate it differently. I'm gonna bring strings. I'm gonna bring other instruments. You have to take that chance, and to me, is yeah. I have to be honest. I have to try to do what I hear, and hope that I'm right now with this album. The band is preparing the next album.
Mhm.
I have a half of maybe it's a double album, or it has two halves. There is a segment of 5 or 6 Colombian songs with jazz influence, but with rhythm and dance. I continue with that goal, and then there is the other part, which is salsa music. And we started to play these songs, and people are starting to dance more. So we'll see. I taught for many years. I finished my destiny took me there. I graduated from school, and I was put in a position of teaching, and I was very successful. I Many students who who studied with me in '98 became musicians. They went to North Texas. I inspired them to study, and I arrived in New York, and there was a place called Boys Harbor where I taught for 16 years until they dismantled the Latin program. So I quit, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I've been kind of doing a lot of teaching and then continuing with my project, but now I don't want to teach anymore. So I have an ensemble that I direct. Very interesting ensemble because I have people from Korea, from different places, but uh, I'm producing and writing a lot, and I'm recording. I learned to record, so that's what I'm doing. So I do the opposite. Some people, play, and then when they're older, they teach. I'm doing the opposite. So let's see where it takes me.
Yeah, yeah. So I hear two things. You say one of your missions is you feel like you are an educator and you have to educate. You want to talk to people about this music. And there's also that aspect of you that wants to be honest. And you said this, you have to listen to yourself and you have to be honest. What does that honesty mean to you?
Um, well, it's hard to explain what it is. What I know is what is not. It's not like I'm gonna do. Oh, uh, right now this is what sells, so I'm gonna reproduce what sells. It, no, no. It's the principle is the same. It's just I continue to study to try to get closer to to bring in something that people can say, "Wow, I want to dance. Let's dance this. I want to listen," and it's like, "Oh, interesting, nice, sounds good, quality," which is what I grew up with listening. Quincy Jones was able to to bring quality to jazz and then quality to pop. That's that's a dream. I would love to produce, and now I'm producing more with the idea of of that, producing quality, whatever it takes me. Let's see.
Yeah. And that quality will then connect you with people. You want to be connected to people through education and through quality rather than through marketing, for instance.
Awful.
Right.
I just
Well, a lot of
yeah,
people do that. They connect
yeah,
through marketing
yeah.
and
They're
and
good at it. Yes.
yeah, and not all the music is terrible either. Some highly marketed music is very good, but this isn't what you're talking about. You couldn't live that way.
No, maybe one day I'll be able to pay, and somebody will tell me, well, okay, we're gonna do this to promote, and I'll be happy to follow. But every time I try, you know I put a lot of problems to it. It's like, no, but this is not ready, but and then
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I appreciate you letting me press you. It's fascinating to me. I mean, I admire and sympathize with a desire to do something the way you hear it in your head, the way you feel it, like the way it has to be. It's got to be this way, and I've got to make it as good as possible so that the way I have to make it will reach people.
And it is a slow process because with my wife we have a program, Cumbia for Kids, and we do residencies in many schools talking about Colombian music.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with different bands, playing with two different bands steady, and then doing the music for the theater company, which is 2 or 3 per year that we do. And then I have a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old, so we go from soccer games to other things. So it's just it is what it is. It's slower, but it's steady. It's going.
Yeah. I guess I want to sum this up by saying I'm thinking about America, and I'm thinking about a country that has done two things. One is it's made things up. It's gone its own way. And then it's another version of America where it just apes everything, where it just takes things in and makes them into products. There's two different Americas going on. And you seem to be fighting for this one, the one that creates something new, even when there's no one asking for it. And
I just remember not being almost blind. What are you gonna do? I said, I just want to study. I remember taking every class because I said, I just want to be able to know so I can create something. And then when it connected with Colombian music, it got even, the feeling was stronger. But yeah, it's when you have all the tools and you have ideas, you have to make that. You have to attempt to open a new path, and that is, when I produce the festival and I produce the albums for the Colombian band, I had a lot of people following that. A lot of people contacting me from Colombia, and they wanted to talk about this. Then I took a break. Now I'm let's see if I can get that reaction, because it's a different Colombia now. You have a lot of good musicians there, a lot of new music coming out, and if it is competition or not, in music, you compete because somebody gets more attention than the other. But if there is quality, I'm okay if they recognize that, or if I recognize it.
yeah. How can people find more about you?
Well, Folklore Urbano, and folkloreurbanoNYC.com. We have the Facebook, Instagram, and we have a slogan, Global Music to Unify. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Pablo Mayor, thank you so much for helping me satisfy my itch and talk about this music.
It's been a pleasure, Adam. Thank you. I'll see you again.
I hope so. Yeah, we can have you back sometime.
Differently.
If you want to
Yes.
talk in more detail, let's talk again.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Dan for connecting us.
Yes. I'll make sure he sees that. And we want to thank you to the audience for watching and for following and hanging in there with us in these deep conversations. I sure enjoy them. I hope you do too. And if you do, I hope you'll let us know by liking us and subscribing. Thanks very much, folks. We'll see you next time.